Okay, here's your 15-second from the TV booth. Oop. You can go ahead, Chair Durman. Oh, you're muted.
Welcome to the March 18th, 2021 meeting of the Walnut Creek Transportation Commission. Would the secretary please provide the video conference information?
Yes, certainly. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Brown Act as currently in effect under the State Emergency Services Act, the Governor's Emergency Declaration related to COVID-19, and the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20 issued on March 17th, 2020 that allows attendance by members of the Commission, city staff, and the public to participate and conduct the meeting by video conference. Video conference locations are not open to the public. As some attendees may be participating in their first Walnut Creek Transportation Commission meeting or their first teleconference meeting, I want to welcome everyone and talk briefly about the public comment process. To provide a live remote public comment, join the Zoom video conference meeting. The meeting ID is 950-3249-1012, and the password is 304535. When the chair opens the public comment period, use the raise hand feature or press *9 if you are connected by phone, which will alert staff that you have a public comment you would like to provide. Please wait your turn, and once brought into the meeting, we would appreciate if you would please state your name and city of residence for the record. Consistent with the city's public comments policy, each speaker will have 2 minutes to make their remarks. Should you choose to not provide comments but would like to view the meeting, you may do so in one of the following ways. On YouTube Live, visit the City of Walnut Creek's YouTube channel, cable broadcast on Comcast Channel 28 within Incorporated Walnut Creek only, or Rossmore Channel 26, Wave Channel 29, and AT&T Uverse Channel 99, or via live stream on the city's website.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the roll call. Would the secretary read the roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Cagle?
Present.
Commissioner Ash?
Present.
Commissioner Salcedo?
Present.
Vice Chair Milks?
Present.
And Chair German.
Here.
And that is everybody.
All right. Would the secretary provide public comment information?
Certainly. This portion of the meeting is reserved for comment on items not on the agenda. Under the Brown Act, the Commission cannot act on items raised during public communication, but may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed, request clarification, or refer the item to staff. The Chair now asks that if any member of the public wishes to comment on an item that is not on the agenda, please use the raise hand feature or press *9 if you are connected by audio only, if you would like to provide a public comment. And it is looking like we don't have anybody wishing to submit public comment. So let's see here. We have no members of the public wanting to provide comments.
Okay, the next item is the adoption of minutes. So would the secretary please provide public comment information?
Yes, the chair now asks if any member of the public wishes to comment on adoption of the minutes. Please use the raise hand feature or press *9 if you are connected by audio only, if you would like to provide a public comment. And we have no members of the public wanting to provide comments.
Should the next item is
You have to still take a vote.
Oh, all right.
Or motion, second, and a vote.
Can I make a motion that we vote?
So a motion by Vice Chair Milks.
I second that.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take the vote. Commissioner Cagill?
Aye.
Commissioner Ash,
Aye.
Commissioner Salcedo,
Aye.
Vice Chair Milks, and Chair German.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Can we move on to considerations now?
Yes.
The next on the agenda is an item for the commission consideration, the election of a new chair and vice chair. So I would like to nominate Danny Eels as new chair of the commission.
Second.
Let me just note that. Motion, German. Okay, we'll go, so there's a motion and a second. Commissioner, or Chair German, technically we are supposed to ask if there is any public comment. Would you like me to
Yes.
do the Zoom script here? The chair now asks if any member of the public wishes to provide public comments at this time. Please use the raise hand feature or press *9 if you're connected by audio only, if you would like to provide public comment. And nobody is raising their hand.
Okay, now I'd like to nominate my vice chair.
Chair German, would you like me to first take the roll call vote on the?
You can do that, yes.
Yes. Let's see, so that's
Does
remind-
Danny accept
I-
the nomination?
Yes.
And remind me, well, no, that's fine. The motion was by Chair German, second was by Commissioner Ash, okay. So, go ahead and take the roll call. Commissioner Cagle,
Aye.
Commissioner Ash,
Aye.
Commissioner Salcedo,
Aye.
Vice Chair Milks,
Aye.
and Chair German.
Aye.
The gavel is now over to Chair Milks. So, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's all yours, Danny.
Point of personal preference, Chair?
Nope.
All right.
So, Mr. Chair, now you would like to perhaps accept a nomination for the position of Vice Chair?
Yes, can we have nominations for the vice chair now?
I nominate Commissioner Cagle.
Second.
Chair.
Who was was the second also Ash? Mr. Chair? Okay, great. God, do we have to take, let me very quickly here. Chair now asks a member, if any member of the public wishes to provide public comments at this time, please use the raise hand feature or press *9 if you're connected by audio only, if you would like to provide a public comment. And it looks like there is no public comment on that. Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to take a roll call vote if you would like.
Would you please do so?
So actually now the chair is Chair Milks.
Oh, he takes over in this meeting, that's fine.
Immediate. You're done, David.
You're done. Wow.
We move quickly here. Okay. Would you be able to take a roll call? please?
Yes, certainly. Let's get the order on this right. Commissioner Ash,
Aye.
Commissioner Salcedo,
Aye.
Commissioner German,
Aye.
Commissioner Cagle,
Aye.
and Chair Milks.
Aye.
Okay, passes 5-0. We have Chair Milks and Vice Chair Cagle.
Thank you.
All right. So are we done with that?
Yes, I think so. I don't believe there's any other Zoom thing I have to read at this moment.
Okay. So we're moving on to item 5B, which is the Commissioners' Committee appointments. Next on the item is Commissioners' consideration. At this time, I invite staff to provide the presentation, please. Thank you.
So for the matter of commissioners' committee appointments, I don't have a presentation like in the traditional PowerPoint of a term, but just a quick note that basically this is an opportunity for the commission, if they so choose, to change assignments for the various committees that members of the commission are assigned to or are appointed to by the commission. The mayor's quarterly breakfast, of course, automatically goes to the chair and the vice chair. But then there is the mobility, micro-mobility working group, which has been dormant due to basically COVID. And that is Chair Milks and Commissioner German. And then there is the Ccta Citizens Advisory Committee, which Commissioner Ash has represented on for, I think it's, Commissioner Ash, I think it's been only 3 meetings so far, correct?
3 months, yeah.
So it's not, there's no requirement that the assignments change, but this would be the opportunity if for some reason you wished to do so.
Happy to stay another year unless somebody's dying to do it, and then I'll pass it along after a full year.
Yeah, and if there's no change, this would not require a vote because there's basically no action.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, then Chair Milks, it appears that the commission wishes to keep things as they are. So that would be the end of that item.
Great, thank you. Next on the agenda item is the commission consideration is the 2022 through 2031 capital investment program. At this time, I invite staff to make their presentation, please.
Good evening, Commission. Congratulations, Chair Milks, and to Vice Chair Cahill. Okay, can everyone hear me? All right, good. I will share with you the PowerPoint slide presentation for this item. Okay, so good evening, Commission. I'm Carlton Thompson, and I'm the Senior Civil Engineer for Capital Program here at the City of Walnut Creek. Tonight, I'm going to be presenting on the Capital Investment Program transportation projects. This is an update of the existing 10-year CIP and based on feedback from our February 1st meeting. So, well, I think maybe it's not the February 1st, but maybe it's the January 21st meeting, sorry. Good thing the slides are right. We had a study session where we went through in painful detail all of the transportation projects. And tonight will not be as long, hopefully, and not as painful. But tonight we're seeking a council recommendation. In May, I will take the full CIP and capital budget for 22-23 to City Council for its first study session. And in June, hopefully the council will then adopt the CIP, the capital budget, along with the city's operating budget. Ooh, I don't know how that works all that well. So transportation projects are created based off the transportation improvement projects eligible list. This is a long-term vision that's unconstrained by time or money. And then projects go into the 10-year capital investment program document, the CIP. And we use this for planning and trying to estimate for funding. They're based on ballpark estimates, but it does not appropriate any funds. But it does start to define the timeframes for which we're trying to get projects into. The capital budget then stems out of the 10-year CIP, and that's the 2022 and 2023 fiscal year budgets. That's a 2-year spending plan, defined budgets, And it actually comes with council approval, and we're spending real money. CIP funding comes from a number of sources, partially from the general fund, grants and improvement districts, and then the traffic impact fee, of which you guys are the shepherds of. I threw in a little project from the Broadway Parkside project that we just did, off on the right-hand side, showing the bike lane. All right, let's get right to it. So the 2022 and 2023 capital budget is the first cycle of the CIP. And here on the screen, I think I've highlighted in green a couple of things for you to look at. One is we're expecting to start with about 4.6 million available in traffic impact fee towards projects, and for programming beginning in July of 2022. The capital budget expects to spend about $1.9 million over the 2-year budget cycle. And you'll see that we added, based on feedback, the California YVR intersection improvements project from our discussion at the study session. And we moved back the signal at Arkell to a later cycle in the CIP. We used the funding from that project towards the YVR intersection, and then also to fund the Shalen's multimodal improvement project. We think that we can construct meaningful improvements with these two projects with that move. So the California Boulevard and YVR intersection improvement improves the pedestrian and bike access to the BART station and the new downtown intersection. But it doesn't implement a complete change to the intersection. We're going to evaluate what we can incorporate with the existing lane geometry and signal configuration. If BART releases an additional round of grant funding with this hopefully fully vetted design, we'll have additional money towards building a future improvement. Actually, I didn't say that right. If BART releases an additional round of grant funding with a fully vetted design and a higher, will be higher prioritized for money from BART if we have a fully completed design. Regardless, we think with the funding level we've proposed that we can make meaningful improvements. And you might be able to see in the graphic that I have on the screen that I've overlaid the existing new green bike lanes through the intersection. And you see how well they align with the proposed geometry out there. So we are showing both pedestrian and bicycle mobility through the intersection. And as we move forward through the design piece, we'll hopefully have a better functioning intersection for both ped and bike. All right. On this 2-year cycle. So this is a second 2-year cycle, which is 24-25. You'll notice that we start with a little bit of rollover of 2.5 million, and then we gain some of the funds that you'll see that you saw in attachment 1, where we're programming expected revenue from future development. You'll also notice that we have 5.3 available, and we're programming 5.5. So that's not necessarily completely realistic, but it is not, this doesn't commit the funding. This just shows what the demand is. One of our strategies is to try to close that gap by moving projects to the right. Others is to go out and try to seek grant opportunities to meet some of those unfunded needs. The 2 new projects in here are the North Broadway improvements, the construction. This one's based on the opportunity with a development project. The other one is the Ignacio Valley Road Safe and Smart Corridor Study. And then I also highlighted the Lincoln Avenue ped bike path because I know that's important to the commission, that we don't lose focus on that, but it is pushed out here into 2024. The YVR Corridor Study is that one that evaluates that multimodal improvement along YVR. Staff agrees with the commission that the YVR Corridor Study is important. We also recognize that we need input from many stakeholders, which will take time to align. We're also seeking partnership funding for that effort from Ccta and others who would realize benefits from a coordinated planning effort along the corridor. As much as I'd like to push this forward, right now we don't see a way to do it. The North Broadway improvements design project, I've thrown up here on the graphic a preliminary concept that we've been working on. In the project attachment that you have in your packet, the graphic shows a typical cross section with 10-foot sidewalks, 5-foot protected bike lanes in each direction, 1 through lane in each direction, and 2-way left turn lane to allow for left turns outside the flow of traffic. The change lane configuration should provide safer vehicle speeds along this section of North Broadway. There's also some development that's going to happen. I don't know if my cursor is visible on your screen or not, but at the old DMV site. And then a portion of the construction funding will come from the Affordable Housing for Sustainable Communities grant application that is currently underway. Project adds about a little more than half a mile buffered bike lanes, and it also closes sidewalk gaps and widens existing sidewalks to 10 feet. And here's the Lincoln Avenue bike ped path. Another reason for kind of pushing this a little bit out from the current budget cycle is to also evaluate what's going on with the rest of the downtown. The improvements that are and changes that are in configuration for downtown lanes and things also mean that we should really evaluate what opportunities we have for making this connection. But we don't disagree. We should get this done. All right, I'm out to 2026 and into the third 2-year cycle of the CIP. As we get further out into the CIP, we have many projects to develop funding and plans for. Traffic signal master replacement project is one that will be necessary to replace and keep up with the technology, to keep running our signal network. We anticipate we will see enhancements that come with that update to take advantage of smarter vehicle technology. It was a pretty expensive project to begin with, and so we're carrying that project forward. But again, this is 2 cycles out now, and so we'll start to, as it gets closer, we'll have to figure out whether 1, we're going to do it in that time frame, and 2, how much it will cost. You can see that we start with very little funding and a low estimate on revenue, and but the demand is for about 2.8 million traffic impact fee. And then this project, this time frame also has the actual construction of the sidewalk on Walnut Boulevard at the Walnut Heights Elementary. We intend to pursue Ccta grant funding for that construction. And of course, if we can move that farther forward with other opportune funding, we will bring them forward. In the fourth 2-year cycle, out at 2028, 2029, we start to get into a negative estimated funds available, but that doesn't deter us from adding continued nets and projects in here. We'll also see that that's when we're projecting the widening of the Newell Bridge, the San Ramon Creek Bridge at Newell, for about a $3 million project. And we'll be looking for some money. Actually, Caltrans was out there today looking at that bridge from underneath. And then this shows also in this cycle the Lincoln Avenue ped bike path at a little over 4 million, and that's an estimate that's left over from previous studies. At this point, I'm going to hold that number in there in the CIP, but as we get closer to this cycle or get the opportunity to move it forward, we'll really evaluate what that cost is going to be. And then in the 5th and last 2-year cycle of the CIP, so we're out 9-10 years now, we really are in the negative territory in the TIF fund. We don't anticipate that to to really hold. But this is where we start to see some really large projects that have been pushing to the right because of their challenges and challenges in terms of trying to get the funding for them. One is the Oakland Boulevard Mount Diablo Corridor per the West Downtown Specific Plan. That project has some significant geometric challenges, both horizontally and vertically. And then you'll see the YVR Class 1 PED bike facility from Bancroft Road to Iron Horse Trail. That one is also a challenge because we have to potentially move that wall first. So those are two big projects that drive that really bottom line demand of 34.4 million. And right now we're just showing about 1.3 million in projects with 28.2 million unfunded. Okay, went through that pretty quickly. At the end of this, we're requesting the commission to recommend to the city council to adopt the list of the transportation related projects as proposed in the CIP, and then those will follow into the recommendation for the capital budget in that first cycle. And that concludes my presentation. I'll take questions.
Do we have questions from the commissioners?
It's Jared. On the Newell Bridge, is there anything that says more urgent in terms of repairs? Or
Not at this time. Caltrans has been doing a lot of bridge inspections right now. But I know they were out there today with the truck to look underneath the bridge. But right now, nothing is showing that that project is more urgent.
Great, thank you.
Is there any risk with having such a large dollar amount in the fifth budget cycle and a lot of it unfunded? Is there any reason to take anything out of there, or is it beneficial to at least keep it on the list, even though it's kind of out there, and then replan accordingly if that seems unrealistic from a budgetary standpoint? Right,
you get this question quite a bit, and it really is beneficial to keep them on the list, especially because they speak to the goals that we have to get done. It makes it important also to make sure that we go back and revisit that TIF eligible list as well. So that's due for an update. I know Smadars talked to you all about updating that. But as things change, right? 2016 had a list of projects in there that aren't completely relevant today as we go to program projects into 22 and 23. And so we keep pushing that stuff to the right, so to speak, or into the future, mostly because we know that some of that stuff we need to do. But the scope of what it is really is, as we get closer to it, is where we have to work to really start to define that. But we also won't be competitive for future grant opportunities or large grant opportunities if we never show this is a project until the grant opportunity shows up. So we can say that it is an advantage and not necessarily a disadvantage. But at some point, if the commission says that really is not a project that I don't see as the community ever really wanting to do any longer, or if staff would recommend that, then we would pull it off.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from the commissioners?
Not here.
And seeing none, we'll open this up to the public for any questions or comments. Andy, do we have any comments from the public?
So the chair now asks if any member of the public wishes to provide public comments at this time. Please use the raise hand feature or press *9 if you're connected by audio only if you would like to provide a public comment. And give it a second here. And it looks like we have no public comment.
Just wait here. Okay, seeing no comments from the public, then we bring it back to commissioners. And I guess at this point, do we have any comments? We've already had our questioning section. Now we have our comments from the commissioners. And then we will come to, we have to actually take a vote to support this, to move it on to city council. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
So any comments at this point from the commissioners?
I just wanted to say thank you to staff for taking our feedback from the last meeting and incorporating it into this. I know there are a lot of great projects and hard decisions, and I feel comfortable with it the way it is moving forward, and would make a motion to approve it and move it forward as a recommendation.
Okay. Do we have any other comments before we move it forward to vote?
Yeah, I would just echo what Vice Chair Cagle said, and I think that staff took a very thoughtful approach to balancing our requests with what makes sense. So I feel good about the plans moving forward.
Thank you. Jared, David, any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Do we have a second motion then? Is that from, do we have a formal motion?
Second.
Ma'am, and a second motion? Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the motion.
Samantha kind of did it earlier.
Oh. Okay. And the second by Commissioner Ash, I think? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Go ahead and take the vote here. Commissioner Ash?
Aye.
Commissioner Salcido?
Aye.
Commissioner German?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cagle?
Aye.
And Chair Milks?
Aye.
Approves 5-0.
Thank you very much, Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And from what I can see, that is the last item we have on our agenda. Is that correct?
Chair Milks, there's item 6, commission and staff brief announcements or brief reports on their activities.
Hey, would anybody like to go first on that?
I have an announcement from CCTA. Can I go? There is, the CCTA has a fund for rebates on electric bikes. And as of the last meeting 3 weeks ago, I believe it's for like a $350 rebate if you buy an electric bike. There were 19 allotments for the city of Walnut Creek and only 2 were used. So we should spread the word. If you know anybody who wants a rebate to buy an electric bike, there you go.
Great. Thank you. Any other announcements from the commissioners?
I have that point of personal preference if I can grab it now. Is that a yes?
Sure.
I just wanted to thank David for being chair in what was an unusual year and probably different than you had in mind. So thank you for being chair during the pandemic and your service to the committee and commission. And we look forward to continue to work with you.
Well, thank you.
I would like to second that. I've worked with David for a long time now on the commission, and it's been wonderful to see him take the leadership and then pass it off more than once.
I do look forward to having a real meeting in the flesh sometime soon.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Agree with everyone else.
Thank
Yes.
you all.
Forward to meeting you in person.
So if there's no other commission comments, I do have one, and that is I love what the staff has done in the last year to accommodate people being outside downtown with the restaurants and businesses and giving them space and repurposing the street space. I will say it has actually become, in some places, more difficult to get around by bicycle as the streets have closed to cars and there's not been a real through path for bicycles to get around some of these areas. So it's either we get up on the sidewalk, which I don't think we want to do, or we're treated like cars and we have to go another route. So if there's, a signal to bicyclists, people on bikes, that you're not wanted here, then that sure is strong. And I'm just would like staff to consider that if we can make any alterations, especially, I know coming from the Iron Horse Trail to downtown and Main Street is the end of Lincoln, but you have to stop before you get there and figure out some kind of less than ideal solution. So that would be bringing awareness to that people are wanted to come down on bicycles still. And I know that's tricky. There's not much space, so I appreciate your effort on this.
And Chair Milks, that actually sounds like the perfect segue to staff's comments and reports. And I'm glad you brought that up, actually. So the program that's been operating downtown since last spring, I suppose, with the outdoor dining and closing of streets and other things, is Project Rebound, or just Rebound. And there's a lot of work that goes into that behind the scenes, of course. And I've been involved, not as involved as other of my coworkers, thankfully. I've had plenty of other things to do, though. But we are actually now embarking on looking at possibly what things could change more for the long term. In a way, this. I don't want to refer to a global pandemic with so many people passed as an opportunity, but I guess what we've done downtown, just that on its own, has been a bit of an opportunity for experimentation, and has opened a lot of people's eyes, I think, to possibilities. And so we are, in the preliminary stages of, looking again, like I said, at what types of things we could perhaps carry on in the long term. I'm on one of the committees on that. And actually, the point you raise is something that I should have, but I haven't even thought of that. And I'm very glad that you brought it up. And I will definitely carry that message on, because as soon as you said that, Lincoln Avenue popped in my head. Oh yeah, that's closed. And it's probably because I only come down to City Hall for these meetings, so in the evening at that. So I haven't seen it in a while. But I will definitely pass that on, and just to let everybody here know that we are working on that. And yes, so I don't have any other reports beyond that, though.
Okay, great. Thank you for that update. And I would like to do one quick PSA, which is that a lot of schools are starting up. So as everybody heads out, be careful, watch for kids walking and biking and scootering to school. And I think with that, unless there's anything else.
Actually, I forgot, I did also wanted to chime in on how it's been such a pleasure to serve for now former chair, but Commissioner German over the past year. And Lord knows it has been a challenge for everybody switching to this method of having a meeting. I'm glad to know, though, and knew before that David had previously served as chair, so he's at least had some time actually being able to do it in person, even if it wasn't to be this time around. So I wanted to just personally thank you, David, for all of your work.
And let me thank staff for being so supportive the last year or so. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any other last minute announcements?
Nope.
Seeing none, then I think we can call this meeting to an end. Excellent. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.